Ladies and dipshits, welcome to the stupidity. Yeah, that's right. There were some NASCAR races this weekend, meaning the brain-dead morons were running the show. Let's start in the Xfinity Series. For those of you who don't know, the Xfinity Series is the second tier of NASCAR, so think of it like the AAA of baseball. The Xfinity Series consists of up-and-coming hotshots and old, washed-up vets racing together. And yes, that is as batshit crazy as it sounds. The U.S. Marine Corps 250 at Martinsville consisted of 14 cautions with over 100 laps under the yellow flag. Repeatedly, drivers were running over each other, sending it into the corners with no hope of making the turn, and in general, showing zero regard for the series or their competitors.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
The most blatant example of this was on the last lap. Sammy Smith punted Taylor Gray into turn 3, collecting Sammy's teammate Justin Allgaier and a bunch of other cars, igniting World War III. Austin Hill ended up winning, being the only survivor of Sammy's nuclear apocalypse. All the Cup drivers on Twitter were pissed, the team owners were pissed, the other Xfinity drivers were pissed. During the Cup broadcast on Sunday, the grand prophet of NASCAR, Mike Joy, called it a dumpster fire, later saying, "Well, I'm sorry, I said the Xfinity Series was a dumpster fire. It's not. A dumpster fire is contained, and that series is not right now." And everyone is looking at each other saying, something has to be done. Here's my question. What is going to be done? Some people like Brad Keselowski says the team owners need to sit their drivers, and with all due respect, Brad, but that's stupid. A lot of people are calling for NASCAR to call penalties immediately at the track. Really? You want to give NASCAR more judgment calls? We've proven that NASCAR is completely incapable of consistency because their decisions are made by Magic 8 Ball. I guess the right thing for NASCAR to do is to put a sniper up in the box, whose sole job is to publicly execute drivers for blatantly wrecking others. But being NASCAR, they'd wind up shooting some poor child's puppy and somehow burning the track to the ground. NASCAR probably shouldn't hire ATF agents. This brings us to the Cup race on Sunday, the Cookout 400 at Martinsville Speedway. During the drivers' meeting, NASCAR told the drivers the word of the day should be respect. So let's see how respectful we can be. On lap 71, the 17 of Chris Buescher spins off the nose of the 77 of Carson Hocevar. Buescher pins Carson up into the wall, showing Carson nothing but respect. During the caution at the end of stage 1, the 23 of Bubba Wallace pulls out from his pit box and directly into the side of the 21 of Josh Berry. But he did so with respect. After this, and apparently completely unrelated, Josh's car dies on the track. This was the first sign of battery issues on the Penske and Wood Brothers cars. Spoiler alert, the two of Austin Cindric would not finish the race because Penske ran out of batteries. Well done, everybody. Speaking of Austin Cindric, on lap 202, he was in the middle of a 3-wide battle with the 35 of Riley Herbst and the 16 of AJ Allmendinger. Coming out of the corner, Herbst is up high and comes down a little bit. And to me, it looks like he was just trying not to hit the wall. I know, right? What a jerk. Doing this, he taps Cindric into Allmendinger. In divine justice for this obvious heresy, Austin Cindric, with tons of respect, sent Riley into the 18th dimension, otherwise known as into the wall.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
Remember back to Coda when Austin right rear hooked Ty Dillon into the wall on the front stretch? And we called it a dick move, but NASCAR fined him, but didn't suspend him because Ty didn't actively die in the incident. Well, this is just another example of the respect that Austin shows to his fellow drivers. I am willing to bet that Austin will not be punished at all, mostly because somebody knocked the Magic 8 Ball off of Jim Francis' desk. Also, he didn't right rear hook Riley, he hit his left rear, which is totally different and is a much more respectful move. After a green flag pit stop on lap 275, the 88 of Shane Van Gisbergen loses his right rear wheel. There seems to be wheels falling off cars every week now. And look, I'm an idiot, but it seems to me that this change to a single lug is obviously not working out too well. While I do remember wheels coming off cars in the past, it seems to be happening a lot more now. Leave it to NASCAR to completely fuck up something that was working just fine. At least it's just wheel lugs and not something more important, like, I don't know, say, the point system that has completely ruined the legitimacy of the sport, you fucking bastards. On lap 298, the 45 of Tyler Reddick is a dum-dum and spins the 54 of Ty Gibbs in the corner, but he did so with respect. After the crash, Ty Gibbs told his team to keep him away from Reddick because Ty was so happy with the amount of respect that he received from Reddick. What's hilarious is at the end of the race, they end up next to each other and have a little chat about how much they respect each other. On lap 309, Ross Chastain, the driver of the one, remembered he hasn't done anything completely fucking stupid for 5 seconds and throws a block on the 22 of Joey Logano. A block that was sent on a hope and a prayer, stacking up the rest of the field. This leads to Kyle Larson in the 5 deciding he wants to try to drive sideways now down the backstretch. However, this stacks up the field even more, leading to the 17 of Chris Buescher eating the 4 of Noah Gragson in the corner. So much respect. After they both get off pit road, they show each other more respect by running into each other under caution. On lap 317, Ross Chastain throws another dum-dum block, which ends with the 19 of Chase Briscoe clipping the curb in the turn, throwing him into the side of Joey Logano in the 22, spinning Joey out. For this obvious crime against Bass Pro Shops, Ross Chastain was sentenced to sleep with the fishes. His body was dumped in the aquarium at the Pyramid in Memphis. And remember, this was all done out of respect. In the end, Denny Hamlin wins after a dominating performance. To celebrate, he does a burnout from turn 1 backwards around the track to turn 2. When he gets out, a crew member brings him a flag that says 11 against the world. You know, Denny, if you weren't such an unlikable dickhead on the track, maybe more people would like you. He says as he's happy that NASCAR has a villain. So a few takeaways. First off, the urgency that fires are addressed is quite lacking. Somehow, Denny's burnout caused a fire in the wheel well on the front left of his car. You can clearly see the dark smoke as he's climbing out of the car to hold the flag and do his interview. It took safety crews approximately 5 weeks to finally come over with an extinguisher and put the fire out. This comes on top of Ryan Blaney's car bursting into flames after his engine go boom last week, and nobody giving a shit. Yeah, guys, let's not worry about the fire on a fucking race car that's full of gasoline. No reason to use a fire extinguisher on that. Just let it go. It's fine. Goodyear. Go even softer on the tire. This race was not complete dog shit, but you can still go softer. These tires are still lasting too long. If a short track race does not look like the 2024 Bristol Spring race, you need to try again. And look, I know it's easy for me to sit here in my Crocs and yell at the clouds about this, but come on, you've already made big improvements, and NASCAR themselves has shown they can fix problems as well as I can fit into a size small shirt, but there's still so much room for improvement. Finally, is it just me, or were the stands not only kind of empty, but scary empty?
Interest and it's gone.
What?
It's gone. It's all gone.
I know we are far from the consistently sold out venues that we all wish were a reality in the sport, but my goodness, were a lot of people dressed up as seats. So let's get to this week's awards. This Is Why No One Likes You, you big dumb dipshit, goes to Ross Chastain for throwing blocks like the average college freshman treats their body. Poorly. The We Didn't Start the Fire award goes to the safety crews for putting out fires after only getting written instructions from a blind and deaf Tibetan monk. The I Still Haven't Learned My Lesson award goes to Austin Cindric for being a dick and being lucky that NASCAR's discipline system is run by Magic 8 Ball, because this week it landed on Do Nothing. Well done, everybody. The I'm Never Buying an Advanced Auto Parts Battery award goes to Team Penske for going through batteries like promises from a politician. Completely broken 5 seconds later. The Dumpster Fire So Bright It Can Be Seen from Space award goes to the Xfinity Series for racing like a bunch of dipshits. The This Is Why I Can't Take the Playoffs Seriously award goes to Joey Logano, who somehow is a 3-time Cup Series champion and the defending champion from last year, but has just now gotten his first top 3 of the season. It's almost like the playoffs are not the best way to crown a champion. Next week is at Darlington for Throwback Weekend, where cars will be painted in old, ideally iconic paint schemes. Just a reminder of how the iconic looks of the early 2000s and before are gone on the cars due to sponsors and changing every race now. So in review, the Xfinity Series is a competition amongst war criminals. NASCAR's Magic 8 Ball is broken. Denny Hamlin is the one we hate, but the one we need. And NASCAR's Word of the Day calendar said respect, but unfortunately, NASCAR never actually learned to read.